that's when he took out the knife and stabbed me from behind in the groin, it was, I just thought I was dead.
Yo, I need to get things right, look at the bigger picture in life. Trying to decipher these questions that live in my mind. I'm not fussed about wealth, it seems to have driven our kind into hopelessness. Happiness is what I'm looking to find. Don't wanna be a parasite, it's crooked and crime. When my only thought is money and what possessions are mine. Don't
if you carry a knife and you're an adult, even if you don't use it, even if you don't threaten someone, you will go to prison.
I honestly thought, that's it for me, I'm gone. It was a 9-inch carving knife, 9 inches of steel. I felt it was going, it was like a crunch, cut through the main artery in my leg. And if it wasn't for my mate Simon, then I would be dead.
I gotta get down and proceed. I'm fed up getting pissed and staying in for a whole week. In my mind, painting a perfect picture like roll deep.
Have you ever had a knife crime incident?
Yeah.
And is that recently?
Yo, cause don't fall stones.
Crime extras fallen from left you end up with this violence and knife crime is a particular problem.
I lost about 6.5 pints of blood, I think. He said like he sort of stuck his hands down there and he clenched. He said the vein came out, he said it was the size of his finger and it was just like a pressure hose.
If a major blood vessel or the heart gets damaged, the size of that blood vessel or the part of the heart involved would determine how quickly that blood vessel occurs.
I can remember when the knife went in, it just felt like somebody chucked a bucket of hot water over me, back to my legs, like, you know, and that was it. And yeah, I was screaming.
We always work on the principle if somebody is carrying a knife, then the chances are, if it's in view, then they've got every intention of using it.
Of course.
Otherwise you wouldn't be walking around like that, would you?
No.
With a weapon like that. And it has, as I said, certainly these 4 people that were involved in this particular thing, which was only last week, there was an intent to use the knife. They were obviously going off to see someone with regard to a crime which had been committed. These particular people, we do honestly believe, were involved in drug, both dealing and drug taking.
Okay.
And we had a feeling that they were actually looking for somebody specifically who obviously was either not paying their dues or whatever, and they were specifically going to use that weapon.
In your experience of Devon and Cornwall, how would you say that knife crime or antisocial behaviour or glassing, how does that affect the community of Exeter and the surrounding area?
Well, there are enormous issues. We get problems particularly with things like glassing. There are issues with people go out drinking, have too much to drink, part of the nighttime economy, and then they'll go out and they'll have a fight. And of course, part of that fighting is that people will suddenly push glasses in people's faces. It's almost like they don't seem to understand the damage that they can cause. There's also a worry that boys or children, kids are carrying around small knives to protect themselves. I think it's part of the sort of culture that arises. And what we're getting is that people are quick to resort to some of these items to defend themselves or to attack other people.
And you always go along as well thinking, you read about this.
Yeah.
This isn't never going to happen to me, like, you know. And then, but, you know, chances are it will do. If you're going to be carrying a knife around, then ultimately, one day, you're going to use it, you know? And then when you use it...
Unfortunately, it's something that I think is very much on the increase. I think what's happened is there seems to be an escalation. Somebody, started to take to school, something to protect themselves, and as it's built up, and knives have become some form of badge of honour or some form of something to use to put one's point across forcibly. Now, the unfortunate thing about that is the increase has led to more and more knives being available in schools and available in youth situations. And of course, once you carry a knife into somewhere, you can't put it away. It's there, it's something that's going to be playing on your mind when something starts to evolve.
Have you ever carried a knife yourself?
No.
Never
carried a knife.
Did you
know? Never any sort
Did
of
you
weapon.
know that this so-called friend of yours was carrying knives?
No, I didn't have a clue.